All right, guys, we're live. We're live, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. We're live, guys. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's keep the comms down, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Rubbings Racing channel here on YouTube. I am your host tonight, Kenbo76, representing the voice of Rubbings Racing. Tonight, we have a special event here at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona, Florida. Here we have the top 15 guys from the top 3 qualifying heats. And if you guys haven't been paying attention, here's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Tuggy Bear is one of our drivers. He came to us with an idea. He said, I want to sponsor an event. We put it together, and a lot of people behind the scenes here as we take a look at these guys qualifying here. A lot of things went on behind the scenes here to make this event happen. So what we came up with was this 100-lap shootout here, 100-lap race at Daytona International Speedway. And the response that we got, we had to do heats. So the first heat was designed to be 15 guys per heat. The last 2 heats were a little short, but top 5 guys advanced from each heat. First heat was Andy WFC won the first heat, coming across the line with a very, very, very close win. And Uniclark coming in that transfer spot on the back there. So Andy, JR, Johnny, Uniclark, and Smithy all in the first heat. They all came through and won that first heat. In the second heat, Olimar took the win in the second heat there. He said he didn't deserve the win, but he crossed the line first. It was kind of mayhem there. That second heat was a little bit messy, but Olimar came across first, followed by VMX Rider, Granddad Steve, Old Smokey, and Lightblade. They were all caught up in a big crash there in the end, so they all got together and they all came across the line. And heat 3, the Consul could not make it tonight. He said he is super bummed. Sending our love and respect out to the Consul. Thank you to Consul for chiming in with us and spending all your time. Gonna miss you today. It was the Consul, Dan, Tro, Richie, and Coach Jug all coming in heat 3 here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have the top 5 guys from each heat here today in this Dash for the Cash event sponsored by Tuggy Bear here. If you guys are interested in joining Rubbings Racing, you guys can find us on the web at www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. When you hit that, you'll see a link there, or see a little button there that says register as a driver. Hit that button. That'll take you to our Discord. We'll show up in the welcome. We'll get you through our evaluation. We'll get you racing here. We got a ton of things coming up here for Season 3. Season 3 is going to be starting on January 7th, Tuesday, January 7th. Our touring car series is going to start the league off here. So we have our touring car series starting off January 7th. Thursday nights, we're going to have Thursday Night Lights. It's a random car, random track. That's always fun for the guys in the community. Always great bragging rights. Friday nights, I myself, Kenbo76, will be hosting a Ginetta GT5 European Challenge. It's all Ginetta GT5s, all identical cars. It's going to be great fun, that one. Saturday night, Ubar is going to host up the LMP2 division. There's a lot of fast guys. He just wrapped up the LMP1 last season. Going to tone it down a little bit this year and go backwards a little bit, get more guys involved. The LMP2s are a little more easier to handle, so we already got a whole list of guys lined up for that. Sundays are Prize and Fame GT3 series. We got a lot of fast guys there last year. Looking to get that started again this year. Sunday nights, 8 o'clock p.m. GMT time. This is all UK time, ladies and gentlemen, GMT time. And then Sunday mornings, we're going to have an experimental open wheel league here. It's not going to be broadcasted. We're going to see what kind of people we can get involved in the community, what kind of the interest is, and see what we can generate. So if you're interested in a clean racing league, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very clean, very respecting racing league. Feel free to join www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Hit the button, register as a driver, go to the Discord link. We'll see you. You'll be racing in absolutely no time with some of the cleanest, fastest guys on the PlayStation Network. I want to thank everybody involved in the Dash for Cash competition. Everybody who was involved in the heats. We know that there was only 5 guys involved. Can somebody mute their mic? I'm getting a lot of feedback. Somebody's breathing pretty hard into the mic. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Want to thank everybody involved in all 3 heats, everybody who signed up. Met a lot of great people from all over the world. all over the world, people are racing here at Daytona International Speedway today. So thank you, everybody who is involved. Thank you for the people who are joining the community. Thank you for the people who are watching. All the support, all the love on YouTube. You can find us on all the major social medias, Twitter, Facebook, at Rubbings Racing. So I just want to give a special thanks one more time to Tuggy Bear for sponsoring this event, ladies and gentlemen. Tuggy Bear, like I said, had the vision, came to us and said, you know, let's put something together in the off season, and we did. And this is the reaction we got here. So we have the top 15 guys, including myself, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the announcer. There are 16 people in the lobby, 15 guys here. What we have today is a 100-lap race, Daytona International Speedway. There will be 10 cautions allowed in the race. 10 cautions allowed in the race, and a caution constitutes 2 or more cars taking each other out. So if 2 or more cars are spinning, we're going to call it a caution. The field's going to regroup back to the start-finish line. I will call it down. 3, 2, 1, go, go, go. The field will then resume. Nobody can make a pass for a position before the start-finish line after the restart. So if the guys haven't used all 10 cautions up until lap 90, after lap 90 and beyond, it is caution free, ladies and gentlemen, caution free here. So we have a mandatory competition caution at lap 50. That is just to regroup the field. At that time, nobody can pit. The field will be frozen. We have a lucky dog system where if a car is a lap down, I will explain that. If a car is a lap down and a caution is displayed, that car can go around the field, get on the tail end of the lead lap, but is not able to pit while he is under that. He has to pit next time by. So we have a little structure here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to try to get you all involved and try to get you all up to speed here. And right now, it looks like we got Colts Jug taking the pole. We got Light Blade now coming in second. Tuggy Bear up to third. Uniclark to fourth. We got Richie coming in fifth. We got Granddad Steve coming in sixth. JR Lock and Low coming in seventh. Old Smokey eighth. Johnny coming in ninth. Smithy coming in 10th. You got VMX Rider coming in 11th. Tro coming in 12th. We got Dan at 13th. Andy coming in 14th. And Ollie, our second heat qualifier, coming in at 15th. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That field is set. These guys are getting ready to go green. They know they have a long race. It's going to be about an hour and 45 minutes, maybe an hour and 50 minutes here, depending on the cautions, depending on the pit cycles, ladies and gentlemen. So these guys better hydrate. They better get what they need. They better get their munchies and their snacks, because I tried it myself, ladies and gentlemen. I tried it myself, and it was I don't envy these guys. My shoulders are burning after about 15 laps. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are about to go green here at Daytona International Speedway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are getting lined up and they're getting ready to wound down. We got Colts Jug on the inside. We got Light Blade to the outside. Tuggy Bear to the inside. Uniclark to the outside. Ricky in fifth. We got Richie in fifth. We got Granddad in sixth. JR coming in at seventh. Old Smokey in eighth. We got John Boy in ninth. We got Smithy up to 10th. We got Andy in 11th. We got Ollie in 8th. VMX coming in 13th. Dan coming in 14th. And Tro to 15th, ladies and gentlemen. 100 laps. These guys are coming up to the restart here. And these guys are going to bunch up, and I'm going to call these guys out here as soon as they get going, as soon as these guys bunch up, and they're getting ready to go green. And 3, 2, 1, green, 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 ladies and gentlemen. The field is gone for this 100 laps race here at Daytona International Speedway. These guys are getting wound up here. It's going to take a whole lap for these cars to get wound up. They know they have a long way to go here. They got 100 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 100 laps here at Daytona International Speedway. There is a mandatory pit stop. There is a mandatory pit stop in this, so these guys are going, pit strategies are going to weigh out. M-Dog86 says, time to go, we hope. Jason Hurley says, good luck to all the drivers. So we got guys coming in on YouTube. I'm going to have time to read the comments today because there's going to be a lot of action here as we see these guys come down. Let's get rid of this interface here and just watch the beauty of the game. Like I always say, I'm always impressed with what Project Cars has done with this game here, especially at Daytona International Speedway. A lot of games have tried to get it right, and it seems like Project Cars really nailed it. And it's such great fun racing around here. You see these guys coming down now. They're starting to come up in the line. These guys are going to ford out 2 by 2. They got a little bit of a high side going here. The high side's fast around here. The low side's the quickest way, but the high side may be the fastest way here. And you can see a line starting to form on the outside. These guys are going to start behaving. They're just going to start winding out here. Let's see somebody make a move to the outside there. Looks like that may have been Colts Jug now, and up to the outside. No, Colts Jug up second place here. Colts Jug on the outside being followed by, looks like Uniclark now. Uniclark in behind Colts Jug as we watch these guys come down the backstretch here. 2.5 miles around this track here, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very historic track here at Daytona International Speedway. There's been a lot of great race car drivers. A lot of people like the Richard Pettys and the Dale Earnhardts and the Kyle Bushes and all the great drivers. It's an absolutely great racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. But we can see the action here as we come across the line here. Lap 4 out of 100. Long way to go here, ladies and gentlemen. The outside temperature is 92 degrees Fahrenheit. The ambient temperature, or the track temperature, I'm sorry, is 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are, the weather is, or not the weather, the time is going to change. We are going to go into the evening. So the track temperatures are going to change. The light clouds are going to come in. Then it's going to be sunny. Then it's going to be light clouds. So different parts of the tracks are going to be different temperatures here as we see these guys 2 by 2 now as they come down the backstretch into the high banking here at Daytona. Turn 3. Are going to think about going 3 wide, but all these guys are settled down here. They look somebody into the wall. Look like Colts Jug up into the wall. It looks like he's going to try to fall in behind these guys, see if he can get the pack. But even if he can't get the pack here, he knows there's a really long way to go here. So these guys are just riding in line, just kind of. Lightblade, meanwhile, Lightblade now out front on the inside in that red and white car. Lightblade's been really quick here. Take a look down here through our drivers, ladies and gentlemen. We got Lightblade. Lightblade's 35. He's Swansea. He's from the Wales in UK. Said he lives to race. He loves all things motor, man. Said he's a fan of F1, fan of the Moto, WRC, and touring cars. He said this is really his first NASCAR experience. He said he doesn't really have a lot of NASCAR experience. Never really got into it being over in the UK, but looks like he's getting around pretty good here right now. He said he's in 2 leagues. Okay, Coach Jug, please keep the comms down. Please keep the comms down, Coach Jug. Yeah, yep. Lightblade's also involved in Rubbings Racing and Next Gen Racing. Said they're both classy and both professional drivers here. Said the touring car in a single seat or his favorite kind. Said he's continuing to growing in sim racing, and he's a believer of karma. So you might not want to get on Lightblade's side there. He said he believes in karma. What comes around goes around, and all these guys, all 15 of them, are going around in a circle and around in a circle, just like J.R. Sim said on the YouTube. Go in a circle. Let's go, J.R. So here these guys come. Looks like Tuggy Bear challenging Lightblade to the outside. Tuggy Bear challenging Lightblade to the outside here. Lightblade now on the inside in that red and white car. Tuggy Bear on the outside in that black and red Ford here. And these guys come down the backstretch here. Out of turn 4 down towards the tri-oval here. Lap 7 out of 100, ladies and gentlemen. Mandatory pit stop at some point in this race. There are 10 dedicated cautions for incident cautions, and there is 1 mandatory competition caution at lap 50, ladies and gentlemen. We get these guys let their arms wind up, shake their wrist out, get their fingers all wound out here. But Lightblade now continuing. Lightblade right now continuing to lead the field around here. Tuggy Bear is a sponsor. Tuggy Bear right now taking the lead. Looks like he's on the outside, got that high line. Tuggy Bear is a sponsor for this league. This event is sponsored by our very own Tuggy Bear, like I said. Tuggy Bear was late entry here. Tuggy Bear coming in now, leading this field out around 39. He's an English driver from Chesterfield. Said he raced in go-karts once on holiday. Said he's pretty new to sim racing. And he just wants to get as many clean laps as he possibly can here. Tuggy Bear's really advanced as he's joined the league here. He came in a little apprehensive. He knew there's some fast guys in here, but man, he adapted and really came through here. Tuggy Bear, you see him now. Second place right now as you see Old Smoky now rocking the outside. Let's take a look at Old Smoky here. Keep on going down through our drivers. Old Smoky's 33 years old from the UK. Said he loves racing and is involved in other leagues. Said he's been racing since Project Cars 1 and plays on a controller. So he's up here with the top dogs on a controller, ladies and gentlemen. Old Smoky and that blue, white, and yellow on the outside of Tuggy Bear right now on the inside. Tuggy Bear being followed by Lightblade as these guys come down here. Right now in 4th place we got Smithy. Smithy, 23 years old from, I'm not sure where he's from, Scunthorpe. Not sure where he's from, but somewhere over in England. He said he prefers small class racing and motorbike racing. He says he prefers 2 wheels to 4. Smithy doing a pretty good job out here on 4 wheels right now. Having a good time out here riding around Daytona, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys come out of turn 2 down this backstretch here. Still 2x2 up in the front. These guys in the back, they're running in line here. They seem to be getting everything situated here. These guys know it's a long time. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are the close quarter racing here. Jason Hurley said Light Blade is consistent here. And here's it. Jason Hurley said again, the UK dominating an American sport. Yes, we failed to get an American entry in here, I believe. We had an American entry in, and he ended up getting wrecked out. So anyway, yeah, that's Smithy. Uniclark has a fan base here. Uniclark is from the UK. He's from Swindon. 39. He said he's been playing since day one. Uniclark's been around for a while. He says he's been playing since day one. You can see Uniclark right now up to 6th place. Uniclark doing a great job here today. Continue down through the field. Let's take a look here and see what these guys are up to. And sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I got a whole bunch of information here. Let's take a look at Johnny here. Johnny, his name's Anthony, 33, from the UK. He says he lives in France. He's been karting since he was 8. Said he had a few stints in Formula Ford and the Formula 3000, but stopped because it got way too expensive. Changed his career and joined the French Foreign Legion. For 12 years he's been enrolled. Sim racing helps him unwind. And he said he races when he can, when he gets a chance, and he said he loves the RR community there. So welcome aboard, Johnny. We appreciate you being here. We thank you for your service. We go down through the field here. Andy WFC, Andy, 22, from Waterford. Said he's been playing racing games since Gran Turismo 5 and F1 and F1 2011. Said he used to play NASCAR when he was still in school. So Andy WFC's got a little bit of NASCAR experience. Andy WFC did win the first heat here in these heat races. So it was a very close finish up at the front. We were more interested in the top 5. Uniclark got in that one in the top 5 in the top drive transfer spot there. Just by a hair, Uniclark got in. Well, that coming to lap 12 here, ladies and gentlemen, out of 100. These guys all calm and cool and collective. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, down through the tri-oval, side by side, Tuggy Bear on the inside. Looks like we got Smithy now on the outside. Smithy's trying to make a run here. Light Blade still in following behind Tuggy Bear here, and everybody is just kind of riding in line, just kind of paying attention, minding their P's and Q's. Everybody's kind of caught up here. We go down through the field. Let's ride on board here with JR Lock and Load and see what see if we can go in the cockpit here with JR. And right now we're riding along with JR Lock and Load, and this is what he's seeing from inside the cockpit. Let's get rid of this interface here, and you can hear the car up to the right of them as they come through this banking here, this high banking here at Daytona, coming out of turn 3, entering turn 4, now coming out of turn 4. You can see the big run that he gets here. Let's turn the interface back on, turn the speedometer. You can see these guys run about 170 more, 4 miles per hour as they come through the tri-oval here, side by side, as these guys run here. Now, like I said, I want to take this special time to thank Tuggy Bear once again for making this event happen. We have a back marker all the way out in the front here. Not sure who it was. Looks like Old Smokey's now out in front, 15th right now. Let's go trackside here, ladies and gentlemen. As we can see, he's wisely getting out of the way here. Old Smokey letting the field go by. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. So now Old Smokey is now 1 lap down. Old Smokey now being the first car a lap down. Right now, Smithy now out in front with Tuggy Bear on the inside of him still. We're going to go out front. Smithy to the outside, Tuggy to the inside. Got Uniclark on the outside, Light Blade on the inside behind Tuggy Bear. These are the top 4 guys. So we go back through the field. We got Richie, we got Granddad Steve. Haven't heard much from Granddad Steve. He said Granddad Steve's 49. He's from Northeast Newcastle. Been playing project cars for 18 months. He said the TC1 and the touring cars are his favorites here. Granddad Steve's come a long way here at Daytona International. We've been practicing for weeks and weeks and weeks. A lot of us have lost hundreds of points in the ratings just because of Daytona. And ladies and gentlemen, we are probably going to be glad to say that Daytona is not going to be on the schedule for the next week or so. We've been wearing ourselves out. Now we got a little bit of action going on back in the pack here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going back here and looking here. Let's see. We got Old Smokey now. Old Smokey's a lap down. These guys still coming through turn 3 here. Side by side, 2 by 2 as these guys coming up through here. And there's a little bit of conversation going on the track, ladies and gentlemen. These guys trying to sort it out here, so I apologize for that. You're having a hard time hearing me. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to keep track of this. Old Smoky is the first car lap down right now. So if the caution is displayed, he will be able to go around the field and get his lap back. Not sure if he went under the pit or not. So, oh, he has pit stop. A couple guys coming in here. Luke Bennett coming in onto YouTube. Smithy for the win. Luke Bennett, Smith, you got a fan out there. Luke Bennett's coming in saying, going for the win here. Jason Burley saying, nice split between all the cars. Pole position on the Atari 2600 is where it all started with me. Yeah, I can feel your pain. That's exactly where I started. That was my very first racing game, Atari 2600. But enough about me, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the lead here. Let's go. Smithy out front. Uniclark now to the, looks like Uniclark is, can't tell which where he is. He's to the inside. Looks like Granddad Steve's to the in third right now. Tuggy Bear coming in fourth, and I don't know where the camera's gone. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Got Smithy and Uniclark now. Uniclark to the outside, look like Smithy to the inside. Tuggy Bear to the inside, and Granddad Steve. I think that's who it is here. I'm trying to pay attention to who all this is here. Well, so we got some teammates here, and JR and Andy have been pretty quiet here, riding in the back of the pack here. You got JR riding about 9th place, and right in behind Andy here. Andy running in 8th, JR running in 9th here. These guys just riding along. They know the strategy. These guys have talked about it. They've strategized about it. They've made a plan, and everybody knows what they're going to do here. Everybody wants to cross that line first. Lap 16, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 17 now. Lap 17 out of 101. 100 racing laps. 1 parade lap, and then so far no caution laps, ladies and gentlemen. This has been absolutely caution free. 15 of these guys riding around Daytona International Speedway in the Ford Mustangs here, GT4 series. They all have the setup. There's no damage on. These guys are just racing for the cash, man. These guys are racing for the cash. Take a look at these guys as they come down the backstretch here, still 2x2. These guys are having a great race here. These guys look really good. They look really clean, really professional here. And like I said, if you're interested in joining Rubbings Racing, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Hit the register as a driver button. It'll take you to our Discord. Follow the link, and we'll get you registered. We'll get you evaluated, and we'll get you racing in no time. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on YouTube, everybody for weighing in on all the social media, everybody for taking part, all the drivers who made it, all the drivers who didn't make it in. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Thank you for all the members of the staff behind the scenes. We want to thank Lecky. We want to thank the console. We want to thank JR. We want to thank Andy, NRP, Ubar, a ton of guys I probably haven't mentioned, but there's been a lot of guys involved in making this event happen for you guys here today. So these guys are putting on a great show here. The top 5 guys from each heat. 3 heats we had this week. These top 5, everybody entered, and these are the best of the best right now as it stands on the leaderboard, ladies and gentlemen. And there's only one can cross the line first. Right now we have Tro. Looks like Tro's now all the way in the back here. Tro back to 13th, and we got Olimar now. Olimar up to 12th. Olimar is our second heat winner. Olimar now in 12th place. Olimar had a strategy coming into this race. Olimar had a strategy coming into this race. He said he wanted to be out front. So we got lap 19 here. Anyway, Lightblade now out to the front on the upside, on the inside here. Lightblade on the inside. Uniclark now in behind him. Richie out front. Looks like we have some lag there, but looks like everybody made it through. I don't know how that happened. I thought that was going to be a big caution there, but looks like the game's caught up with itself. Maybe these Ford Mustangs are just too fast for the internet connection, ladies and gentlemen. We are not sure. Lap 20 out of 100, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 20 out of 100. Almost a quarter way through this race already. No cautions whatsoever, and these guys have been absolutely flawless. They know the deal. They're just riding in line, just paying attention. Looks like we had some more lag there. Looks like guys are jumping all around. I'm not sure what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen, but gonna keep an eye on it. Lap 20 out of 100 as these guys come down the backstretch up towards the Up towards turn 3 here, as Tara is reading the comments there. We got guys flying all over the place here. I'm hoping we can continue this here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Tuggy Bear now to the outside. Light Blade to the inside in that red and white car. Tuggy Bear on the outside in that red, white, and black Ford. Looks like he's got a bumper bar on the front of that. That's just a paint scheme there. These guys are coming through. Looks like guys are showing up and coming out and showing up and coming out. Not sure what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of lag, and I'm sorry about that. That's a product of the internet, product of the game. There's nothing we can do to help that. Anyway, Light Blade still out front. Tuggy Bear now on his outside. Looks like Uniclark's trying to pick a lane here. Looks like Uniclark's going to go to the inside. And meanwhile, Richie now is going to follow to the outside here. And John Boy, I haven't heard much about John Boy here. We go back down through our drivers here, ladies and gentlemen. It's like I said, we were introducing our drivers. I have all this stuff wrote down. It's so hard to keep track of. I'm trying to do all this at one time here. JR Lock and Load has been he's one of the founders of the league. JR Lock and Load currently right now running in 8th place, now 9th place, and it's so hard to call what position they're in because the positions just change all the time. These guys are just in this big patch. JR Lock and Load 32. He said he's a league founder and RR team member. So he's not very experienced in over racing, but he feels good in the car and likes his setup. So he's hoping not to have Days of Thunder's flashback. Yeah, nobody wants a Days of Thunder flashback. Definitely for sure. Feels confident that he can go through all the race on one set of tires. Said he's going to find that low line. Said he's looking for a win. JR Lock and Load's been really fast on that low line, really good at protecting it. But right now, it looks like he's got a lot of guys out in front of him. As he's right now up to 7th place, ladies and gentlemen. We go all the way to the back. Looks like Old Smoky now all the way to the back. Looks like he lost the lead draft. Old Smoky is 1 lap down. Ladies and gentlemen, this event so far has gone caution-free. Back to the lead. Tuggy Bear now coming out of turn 4, leading this parade of cars here, coming to the line. Lap 23 out of 100, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 23 out of 23 out of 100 as these guys come through the tri-oval here. Tuggy Bear to the inside, Light Blade right behind him, and we got Granddad Steve. Looks like Uniclark. I'm trying to see who's on the high side here. Looks like Granddad Steve. I'll tell you how we can find out here. We'll go over to the other camera. Like I said, I can never use this thing with the controller. I can use it with this here, so let's go with the chase cam. So right now we're riding on board with Johnny. Johnny now currently riding in 5th place. So let's take a ride on the bumper here and see how close these guys are really getting. You see this bumper cam and right there, right up against the bumper. See how close these guys are, and you can see how close the action is right to the right. These guys are really uptight, close to each other. Once they get down the backstretch, see him come up and give him just a little touch here. Just say, hey, buddy, I'm here. Let's get going. Let's go. We got this outside line coming. We got to get this inside line going here. What a great, great view here as you see these guys come down through the tri-oval into turn 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. For the 24th time, 24 out of 101 laps here, ladies and gentlemen. Tuggy Bear leading the field around. Great job by him today. Light Blade now currently falling in behind him. Have Uniclark in behind him. It looks like Granddad Steve. We're not sure which... I'm curious to see what car Granddad Steve's in because I didn't do much in the qualifying to see what liveries everybody had, and I apologize for that. So here we go. So Granddad Steve now is on the inside. All right, we have our first caution, ladies and gentlemen. First caution, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to back it down to 70 miles per hour. We're going to go trackside if I can find it. I'm going to go trackside here. And we have Old Smoky. You can go around the field once the field gets... Before they get back to the line, you have to be back in line before they get to the line. So Old Smoky, please go around the field. He is a car 1 lap down. He will then get back on the lead lap. Old Smoky's coming to the outside, guys. Old Smoky going around. Old Smoky is our first lucky dog of the Dash for Cash, sponsored by Tuggy Bear here at Daytona International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. This is our Dash for Cash event, special Christmas event. We are in between seasons here at Rubbings Racing, so this is an event we put together for the community to try to stay involved. It's a 20-pound PSN for first place, 10-pound PSN card for second place, and then I think, would you say, a DLC pack for third place? Once again, if you're interested in joining Rubbings Racing, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. When you follow the link, hit the button that says register as a driver. It'll take you to our Discord. We'll see you in the welcome channel. We'll get you set up through an evaluation process and get you racing. We have a ton of series coming up here for Season 3, starting January 7th. Tuesday, January 7th. I believe that's the right date. It's a Tuesday, first Tuesday in January. I believe it's the 7th. We're going to get our touring cars going, and then Thursday Night Lights. And then we're going to get Janetta Challenges, LMP2, the GT3, the famed GT3 League. and we're going to do an experimental open wheel league. So got a lot of things lined up here as you watch these guys coming out of turn 4 here, headed down towards the tri-oval here. These guys are going, we're going to try it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. One more time, we're going to give it a shot here as these guys come out of turn 4. Lap 1 out of 76 now, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 1 out of 76 because of the restart here. So we are left off exactly where we left off here. And these guys are getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Green, green, green flag is in the air, ladies and gentlemen. We have one caution out of the way. We had one caution. And right now we have, looks like Tuggy Bear now leading the pack around as these guys get up through the gears here. And you've seen in the first stint of racing, the first 25 laps, these guys are basically caution free. These guys know how to get around Daytona as they come through the high banking here and start get up through speed. And we go down here and look through the look at the speedometer here, ladies and gentlemen. 163, 165 miles an hour. These guys are winding up. We've seen speeds up in the 180s when these guys are all in a line, and you can see all these guys on the low line. Got two lines here. Guys like to run the high line. Guys like to run the low line here. We get somebody get a little bit out of shape there in the center there. Not sure who that was. Somebody into the wall. Let's get back to the pack here. Looks like we have Smithy now. Smithy into the wall. Looks like he may end up losing the pack. We go back up to the leader here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Tuggy Bear now up front, being followed by Lightblade. Let's go on board. Let's go to the cockpit here with Lightblade and see what Lightblade's up to. I can never ever use this stupid thing here. But let's get into the cockpit here. You see Lightblade on the outside of Tuggy Bear. Lightblade's been really good on that outside line. Like we said in his bio, not a real big NASCAR fan. Never really did much NASCAR racing according to his bio there. But it seems like he's getting around pretty good here. Lap 3, ladies and gentlemen, out of 76 remain. 76 laps remain here, ladies and gentlemen. Or no, 3 out of 76. Laps 3 out of 76. As these guys come up through turn 3 here, you can see the high banking get really high up on that wall. It can carry a lot of speed out across there. And we go back trackside here and look at these guys coming out of, oh no, that's the all view. There we go. Lightblade now to the outside. See if he can get a run to the outside of Tuggy Bear. Tuggy Bear on the inside. It looks like Uniclark now in that yellow car now followed on the outside here. Followed in behind Tuggy Bear as these guys come across the line here into turn 1. One more time. Lap 4 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. At lap, what lap did we figure on a caution? Lap 25, we're going to have a caution here, ladies and gentlemen. A mandatory caution. It's going to catch the field up. It's going to get everybody, it looks like we're going to have Old Smoky is, like I said, Old Smoky is 1 lap down. It looks like he took a pit stop earlier, so he's going to catch back up with the field. Whether it was a drive-through or a pit stop, it doesn't matter. He's still going to have to catch back up with the field here. These guys come through the high banks one more time here, coming out of turn 4, side by side. And you can see the cars starting to move around a little bit. And if we take a look at the, I don't know if we can see their tires. Yeah, you see the tires up in the right-hand screen here right now. Looks like the right fronts are starting to still a little bit cold here, but the other ones are starting to get a little bit of green. 93 degrees is temperature outside Fahrenheit. 145 degrees is the track temperature. Looks like the it's going to go into the evening here. We're hoping it goes into the evening. I didn't check the settings before we got in here. It's supposed to go into the evening. We're hoping it does here. Tuggy Bear now to the inside. Lightblade to the outside now. Lightblade's fast on that outside line. You got Uniclark now in behind Tuggy Bear. Well, let's take a ride aboard here with Uniclark. Let's see here. Go Uniclark, and we'll go on board. Riding along with Uniclark here. Now, Uniclark's on the outside. In that black and red car, Uniclark in a black and red car on the outside, following Lightblade. Uniclark's been really good here. During a lot of practices, Uniclark's been pretty quiet. He run towards the back of the pack there a little bit, but seems like he knows what he wants to be today. He wants to be out front as these guys come. Lap 6 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. 70 laps to go here. 70 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway. As you see these guys come through turn 1 side by side. We go back trackside here and see these guys just ripping now. Looks like somebody's going to think about going 3 wide. Looks like nope. Looks like Uniclark thinks better of it. Falls back in line. There's no reason to go 3 wide this early in the race, ladies and gentlemen. This is our dash for the cash, like we said. Top prize is first place is 20 pounds to the leader. 20-pound PSN gift card. Second place is 10-pound PSN gift card. And third place is going to be a gift pack here. It looks like we have a caution, ladies and gentlemen. Caution one more time. Looks like some guys got back together back there. Looks like Dan got together, and looks like Richie got together. So these guys are under caution for the second time today here, ladies and gentlemen. This is our second caution out of 10 scheduled cautions here at Daytona International Speedway. Wait for these guys to get caught back up. I want to thank Tuggy Bear once again for sponsoring this event. Tuggy Bear came to us with the idea, had the vision. He said, look, these guys are going to be bored in the off season. Let's throw something together. Decided to throw some of his own money out, sponsor this event. Said, could you guys put it together? We said, absolutely, man. The response has been absolutely incredible. And once again, during this time, I want to thank everybody who was involved, all the guys behind the scenes, all the drivers, everybody who participated. We know there was some heartbreak, and there was some anger, and there was some tempers that flared after some of these heat races. But ladies and gentlemen, Daytona will get the absolute best of us here. Old Smokey is now, where's Old Smokey at? Going around the field. Old Smokey is now coming in behind. Thank you, Old Smokey, for the heads up there. I didn't realize that was my fault. I should have called you around. Old Smokey now coming up on the back of the pack here. We got Richie now. Richie now in 13th. You see these guys coming now. Where are they at? They're coming into turn 3, and we have now Old Smokey now coming up on the back of the pack here. So now everybody is back situated. Everybody is back on the lead lap here, ladies and gentlemen. Lightblade leading this parade around as they come out of turn 4. As they come out. Can you? You can pit anytime you want to. It doesn't matter when you pit. You just can't pit on lap 50. But anyway, we're coming to the green flag here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get rid of this interface here. And these guys are coming down to the start-finish line. And we are getting ready to go in 3, 2, 1. Green, 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 ladies and gentlemen. These guys are now back on the throttle here. These guys wind the cars up. They come across the start-finish line, ladies and gentlemen. Start winding up through the gears. All 6 of these gears, they probably get 6th gear on the back stretch by the time these guys get it all wound up. Really, really tall, long gears here in these Ford Mustangs as they navigate these high bank turn corners here at Daytona International Speedway. Lightblade on the outside, Tuggy Bear to the inside. Looks like Uniclark now to the down low in behind Tuggy Bears. These Tuggy Bears to the inside here. And that 128 black and red Ford Mustang. Now Lightblade looks like he's going to make a move to the inside. What a great move. What a great move. Yes. Yeah, it's Lightblade now out front, followed by Tuggy Bear. Now Tuggy Bear was out front leading that low line. Looks like Lightblade got a good run to the outside and jumped down in front of Tuggy Bear there. Tuggy Bear's been good. Looks like we have 2 cars in the wall. We got 4 cars going around, ladies and gentlemen. Cars flipping all over the place here, ladies and gentlemen. Caution one more time at Daytona International Speedways. These guys are trying to gather it all up together. Looks like Old Smokey made it through. Old Smokey now on the lead lap here. Olimar looks like Olimar is probably, yeah, Olimar looks like he's stuck in the air. Not sure what's going to happen here. Smithy now involved. Yeah, Dan now up to 10th. Yeah, Smithy, no, you can't go around right now. You weren't a lap down. Next time the caution's displayed. This is our 3rd cautions, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get behind the line, Smithy. Start from the tail end. Start. Oh, okay. Or Ollie, I'm sorry. Yeah, Ollie's stuck in the air. You're probably going to glitch out, Ollie. Yeah, Old Smokey. I thought he went around. Man, I hope these timings aren't messed up. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, coming back through the field here. We got Granddad Steve now out front. We got Lightblade now down to the inside. And we're going to try to get this race underway here. Lap 9 out of 76. 76 laps here. We had a delay in the beginning. Yeah, we had another disconnect. Ollie disconnected. These guys are coming down to the line here for the 3rd time here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready to go green in 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. The green flag is displayed, ladies and gentlemen. Lightblade puts the power down. Granddad Steve now to the outside here. Granddad Steve taking the outside position here. And ladies and gentlemen, as we look here, as these guys wind up through the gears one more time here, that was 3 out of 10 cautions, ladies and gentlemen. 3 out of 10 cautions. Jason Early says, can you tell us what the positions are? I'm trying to tell us what the positions are here. And they keep on changing here. I count them out as we go. Right now we got Lightblade out front. Tuggy Bear currently running 2nd. Johnny running 3rd. Granddad Steve running in 4th. Uniclark running 5th. JR Lock and Load, been quiet today, down on that inside line there, just riding the line. JR Lock and Load now up to 5th and 6th, straight in spots with Uniclark. We got Smithy in the 7th, we got Tro to 8th, we got Richie in 9th, VMX Rider in 10th, Dan in 11th, and Old Smoky in 12th. We have 12 guys remaining, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we're going to have another caution here, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like cars are flipping absolutely everywhere. Cars upside down. What an absolute disaster here in Daytona International Speedway. One more caution, ladies and gentlemen. That is caution 4 out of 10 here. Lap 11 out of 76. These guys are a little frustrated. We had to restart twice here. You guys just need to calm down. We apologize for all the delays, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for all the delays. Yes, Old Smoky, you need to go around the field, buddy. Okay. Old Smoky's going to go around the field, get his lap back here. That way he can be back on the lead lap with the rest of these guys. So we take a look here. Tuggy Bear's going to lead these guys around the field here. Under caution one more time. Old Smoky coming around to the outside, guys. Give Old Smoky room to the outside. Old Smoky coming around to take his lap. If they do go green by the time you get back around, Old Smoky, you can't pass them. You got to, you know what I mean? You got to slow down, catch up with them, and then race with them. Oh, you see these guys coming up through turn 3 here. Caution 4 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 11 out of 76. It was originally supposed to be 101 laps. We did end up getting 25 laps complete, 24 laps complete. So we had to restart the lobby with 76 laps to go. This is 11 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Mandatory pit at lap 50. Or no, it'll be lap... yes, we're going to go green this lap here, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys come out of turn 4. They come down towards the tri-oval here, towards the restart zone. We're going to call it off one more time. Lap 11 out of 76. And these guys are going to go in 3, 2, 1... Go, 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 go. Looks like Lightblade now leading them up through here. I don't know if Old Smoky got around. Old Smoky may have spun. Old Smoky now coming to the back of the field here. So keep an eye on these guys in the front here. Winding up through the gears one more time as they come across the start-finish line. Lap 12 out of 76 into turn 1. Side by side once again as these guys wind the cars up. They had a really good run. The first had a really long run there. I don't know if the tires are maybe starting to wear out a little bit. Different track conditions here maybe. 93 degrees temperature outside. 93 degrees Fahrenheit. 138 degrees Fahrenheit is the track temperature. So the track is very hot. A lot of guys are on soft slicks. The soft slicks were really fast here. JR Lock and Load was pretty confident that he can make it. We see, looks like Lightblade making a move to the inside. John Boy now. Johnny's got the outside lane in that yellow and black car. Johnny now trying to make a move to the outside, but Lightblade is just so strong on that red and white Ford Mustang here as these guys try to get side draft off each other as they come through the tri-oval side by side. Lightblade looks like he has the advantage. John now out front as they cross the line. John out front. Lightblade in second. Tuggy Bear coming up behind these guys. JR Lock and Load now up to 4th place. JR Lock and Load looks like he falls in behind Lightblade here. See if he can make anything move. JR Lock and Load coming all the way up through the pack here. If we check our YouTube feed here, the Champ says, patience guys, no need to be that aggressive yet. Champ, our American driver, he was in one of our heats, ended up getting wrecked out late in the race. Pretty bummed. He was up for the challenge of showing the Europeans and the Germans and everybody else involved in this racing league that what America stands for. We didn't get America qualifying in here, but it really doesn't matter. We're all racers. We all enjoy doing the actually same thing here. Thank you, Jeff Sharp. I do my best. I cannot bring you great commentating unless we have great racing on track. And like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you can't get any better than this. I think the guys in the Pro NASCAR League might look at this and say, hey, we might have a couple drivers here that we might get to sign up in February for the Daytona 500. These guys are doing an absolutely fantastic job navigating around this track. Rubbings Racing is all about clean racing, ladies and gentlemen. We had a dream. We had a vision. We wanted to put the league together and just have a bunch of good guys to race clean. We have a bunch of commentators in the league. I've established great friendships and great relationships throughout Rubbings Racing. So get involved. You meet all kind of new people, all kind of people with skills, all kind of people with talent. You learn all kind of things about sim racing. You see these guys come out of turn 4. Looks like Uniclark might have went up the track there a little bit. No, that might Smithy. Smithy got a little bit wide coming out of there. Up the track as they come across the line. Lap 15, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 15 out of 76. Lap 15 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. These guys come up through the banking here, side by side. You see how close they are. They're trying to utilize that side draft. A little bit of contact there between, looks like JR and Tuggy Bear. Well, these cars can take it here. And Smithy really loose coming out of turn, too, on that draft in behind JR lock and load. Looks like we got somebody moving to the outside. Who's making that move to the outside? Looks like Johnny's going to make it. No, Tuggy Bear's going to make that move to the outside. 3 wide through the corner, ladies and gentlemen. Can they make it work? A little bit of contact up by Johnny into the center. Tuggy Bear now up into the wall. These guys need to get in below him. Tuggy Bear, unfortunate. The high line is very difficult to run. It looks like he's going to gather it back up. Looks like he's going to fall back in line and get it together here. Meanwhile, that was Johnny. I'm sorry. No, Johnny now. Meanwhile, Johnny out front in that yellow car. 3 wide at the line, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody up into the wall. JR lock and load looks like he's up into the wall here. Gets forced up high a little bit. Lightblade, we didn't see what happened there. JR lock and load was down on that inside line in behind Lightblade. Looks like he might have had a run to the outside now as we see all these guys coming through turn 2 down this long stretch. These guys are starting to get a little bit racy, a little bit boring riding in line. It's fun to race, but sometimes it can be a little dangerous. Lap 16 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side as they come down the backstretch. 2.5 miles around this track here, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like they're going to try it 3 wide. Nope, they get back to 2 wide as they come through the corner here. Turn 3, out of turn 4, down towards the trioval. Lightblade in command right now. Smithy now up to second place. Looks like Smithy has a really loose car. Smithy was weaving around a little bit. Looks like track temperatures are still really hot and 135 degrees Fahrenheit, the track temperature. So we know these tires are running really warm. You see Uniclark there on the outside. We got somebody just coming out of the pits. He's going to have to get down and let these guys go by. Looks like Tuggy Bear's down to the inside line. Good job by Tuggy Bear. Coming out of the pits, going to have to try to hook on with these guys right along here with Tuggy Bear. And don't know if he can be able to catch these guys. VMX Rider now into the pits. VMX is now on the way back here. So now VMX Rider is now, looks like Tuggy Bear is now the first car a lap down. So if the caution comes out, Tuggy Bear will be able to get his lap back. Tuggy Bear is the first car a lap down here. So let's go back up to the front here. Check out this action, ladies and gentlemen. Lightblade now out front. Johnny, though, making a move to the outside all by himself. That high line is really fast here, and his track temperature is starting to heat up, or start as hot as it is. The tires are going to start to heat up as well, and they're going to start moving around a little bit. And you can see Smithy now up behind Johnny. So they're trying to make this high line work to try to get around, try to figure out how to get around Lightblade. Lightblade has been absolutely solid on that bottom line there. Lightblade on that bottom line. He's got Granddad Steve right behind him here. So a lot of these guys are now, oh, looks like they get a little bit of contact. And Smithy, oh, looks like John goes up in the air, flips around upside down, lands back on all of his wheels. And that's another caution, ladies and gentlemen. Caution 5. Caution 5. Caution 5 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, here. Phil's going to back it down to 70 miles per hour. Hopefully they can try to get situated here before they get back to the line. Not sure if we're going to make it happen. Tuggy Bear needs to go around the field. Tuggy Bear, can you get back out around the field, buddy? Get back on the lead lap. Tuggy Bear now is back on the lead lap. Yeah, you can pit now. Yeah, you guys can pit now. You just come out. We'll just still be under caution. That's all. A lot of these guys are going into the pits here, ladies and gentlemen. We have, looks like we got Lightblade going into the pits. We got Smithy going into the pits. Granddad Steve going into the pits. A lot of these guys going into the pits. Tuggy Bear coming around the field to get his lap back here. And right now we have Dan right now leading the field. Still under caution. These guys are under pit. We got to wait for Tuggy Bear to come back up here. Uniclark now out front. Dan inside. Johnny and Tro. All 4 of these guys elected to stay out. These guys need to come up with a plan here. Not sure if, yes. You are going to start at the very back of the pack. So once them guys come out and they form up, they're going to line back up. You are going to line up behind everybody at the tail end of the longest line. No, they shouldn't be a lap down. They'll come back by you. So as we get this situated, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are still in the pits. Old Smokey now back into the pits. Looks like he's going to try to take another run at it here, and these guys are coming out. Looks like Granddad Steve. These guys are coming back up. Still under caution as we're coming down the backstretch here, ladies and gentlemen. Caution 5 out of 10, lap 19 out of 76. Did we figure out what's the halfway point here? Guess it would be lap 76. Yeah, lap 33. Lap 33 is going to be the mandatory pit stop, or the mandatory caution, guys. Lap 33. So lap 19 right now, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 33 will be half of 76. Is that what we agreed on? Anyway, coming out of turn 4, getting ready to go green, ladies and gentlemen. All these guys are now getting ready to bunched up here. I think we have everybody wound up. We got Old Smoky still coming around the field, but he's going to have to join up with these guys and get ready to go green in 3, 2, 1. Green, 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 ladies and gentlemen. The green flag is back in the air. Dan Uniclark, Tro, and Johnny elected to stay out that time. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are now leading the field. Granddad Steve was in the mix. Smithy was all the way back in the mix, too. It looks like Old Smoky now may be able to catch back up with the pack and get racing with these guys. Tuggy Bear, the beneficiary, lucky dog of that time, got back on the lead lap here, joining up at the tail end of the longest line. So that's the way we work it here, ladies and gentlemen. Lightblade was out front. Lightblade now working the top side. Looks like he's in behind JR Lock and Load, or VMX Rider here as these guys come down the backstretch. Still winding up through the gears, 178, 179, 180 miles per hour now. 2x2 as we come through the high banks here through Daytona. We got Uniclark now on the, Uniclark's on the outside in that red and white car. We got Dan in the blue and white car on the inside here. So Dan's trying to make his car very wide. Doesn't know which way he wants to go, which line he wants to go with. Looks like he's going to elect to go on the bottom line. Get right in front of Johnny here. Johnny involved in that accident into the pits, had a great pit stop, came out of the pits. A lot of these guys have already taken their mandatory pit stop, so they shouldn't have to pit from here unless their tires go away. You can see the tires are back to blue here. Dan but Mortuous out front, Johnny in second, right behind him here. Uniclark on that high side here, and you got Granddad Steve on the inside of him in that yellow car. Let's see what these guys can do, see if they can do anything with these guys. VMX Rider now in behind these guys in 5th. Smithy running in 6th. Smithy's been fighting a loose car, it looks like. Every time he comes off the corner, it looks like his back end's going out a little bit. We got Old Smoky now up to 7th right now, joining in the back of the pack as he's come around in his free ride, pass around there, lucky dog spot. Lightblade now to 8th. Lightblade back down to the bottom. Lightblade's been on that bottom line almost the entire race. He's good, fast on the bottom and fast on the top as we check in with our YouTube viewers here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting. John Boy says 78 liters, I think. Jeff Sharp says, I've got 43 laps in my head for some reason. John Boy says, yeah, sounds right. 38 would be halfway. 38 would be halfway. So we getting somebody into YouTube doing the math for us. So lap 38, ladies and gentlemen, will be our mandatory pits or mandatory caution. Lap 22 out of 76 here. These guys are still side by side now. Looks like they're going to try to go 3 wide. Smithy in the middle. See if he can make anything happen here. These guys come through the banking here. Looks like we have Dan goes up the track just a little bit. Let's get back up front here. Sorry, I was in the wrong camera angle there. Dan now out front. You got Old Smoky now to the outside. Old Smoky playing on a controller, doing a great job using that pad to manipulate his way around Daytona International Speedway, running with these guys up in the front of the pack here on the outside. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody hit the wall. Looks like somebody goes around backwards. The field is going to stay green, ladies and gentlemen. We got a spinner all by himself. Looks like that was Tuggy Bear. Went around all by himself. And what happened here, ladies and gentlemen? Do we have a caution out? Or? Yeah, we have another caution here. I'm trying to figure out what happened here. Looks like a couple guys get together. Field's going to slow down here, ladies and gentlemen. This is our 6th caution, 6 out of 10 cautions, ladies and gentlemen. At lap 38 is going to be our mandatory slowdown, mandatory caution for the field to catch back up if we're not caught up, ladies and gentlemen. So is there anybody right now a lap down? I think everybody is still on the lead lap. Go back to the front here. We got Dan coming out of turn 4. Let's go back to the back here and see where Granddad Steve is, getting 14th place right now. Looks like he's coming down, catching up about 13 seconds behind these guys. We're going to go green this time, guys, so form up. Form up. We got Granddad Steve coming down the back. You're going to have to catch the field. You'll have plenty of time. Looks like he's going to make it in anyway. And we're getting ready to go back green here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 23 out of 76 in 3, 2, 1, go, 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 go. Green, green, green flag is in the air. Dan but Mortius gets a good restart there. Little out in front of them guys. Them guys weren't quite on him. Old Smoky now to the outside on that controller. VMX Rider to the inside. Smithy and that yellow car to the outside. You got Johnny in behind him. Lightblade trying to make a move, trying to get back out to the front. Lightblade said he lives to race, loves to race, races every chance he can get. I've raced in a lot of different series with Lightblade, and he's fast in just about everything he gets behind the wheel of. So Looking for Lightblade to get back out front here. You got a fan base. Got people cheering for you here, Lightblade. We go 3 wide in the front. We got Smithy in the middle. Can these guys make it happen here? No, Smithy thinks better. Drops back down in front of Dan. What a great move by Smithy. And now Smithy in control of the race on the inside line. You got Old Smoky on the outside. You got Johnny pushing Old Smoky on the outside. You got Dan, the top 4 guys here. And behind them, you got JR lock and load. Looks like he's on the outside. And VMX is on the inside. Very similar liveries. Lightblade now 7th place in behind these guys. So all these guys still in a pack, ladies and gentlemen. 12 drivers out here on the field. Lap 25 out of 76 here as we continue to navigate around Daytona International Speedway here in Daytona, Florida, for a Dash for the Cash event sponsored by our very own Tuggy Bear. Once again, I would like to thank Tuggy Bear for his time, for his effort, for his dream and his vision of making this happen. And we couldn't have done it without Tuggy Bear. So once again, thank you, Tuggy Bear, for sponsoring this event. As we get back to the action here, Johnny now out front, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Looks like 6 deep here, ladies and gentlemen. Richie bringing up the back of the field. That's where I would want to be if I was in this race, ladies and gentlemen. I would want to be riding in the back. These guys up towards the middle, you can see they're all moving around. It looks like a little bit of contact there, and it looks like we have 2 cars going around. We got cars all over the place, ladies and gentlemen. One more caution, lap 26. Caution, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This will be our 7th caution of the evening. 7th caution, ladies and gentlemen. 7th caution. We do cautions up until lap 66. Lap 66, there will be no more cautions. Lap 66 will be the end of the cautions. We have a mandatory competition caution coming at lap 38. And we have 7 out of 10 cautions used here, ladies and gentlemen. So we'll wait for all these guys to catch back up. If you guys are interested in joining Rubbings Racing, like I said, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Follow the link, hit the button that says register as a driver. We'll see you on our Discord. We'll welcome you in, get you through the evaluation process, and get you on track racing right next to next with these guys. And never know, you may end up being on YouTube yourself. We call races 5 nights a week. I do all commentating in my league. I do some guest commentating in other leagues. JL Lock and Load is one of our commentators. Andy WFC is one of our commentators. We're always looking for commentators, so if you think you have what it takes to call these guys, please sign up, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Follow the link as these guys are coming down to the tri-oval one more time here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 26 out of 76, and we're getting ready to go green in 3, 2, 1. Green, green, green. Green flag is in the air as they power back up through the field here. Power back up through the gears. Go right out front here. Johnny now out front. Smithy in behind him. Smithy had a loose race car, but loose is fast here when you're riding around Daytona International Speedway, ladies and gentlemen. These guys powering up through the gears, up over 150 miles per hour already. This whole fancy Old Smoky moving around in the middle there. Everybody trying to get an advantage on this restart. Trying to find their dance partner and trying to figure out how they're going to get to the front of this after the 76, after 101 laps. I know it's confusing. We have 101 laps, ladies and gentlemen. We ended up getting disconnected at 25 or 24 laps. So we have 76 laps. 27 out of 76 right now, ladies and gentlemen, as we navigate around this 2.5-mile super speedway here in Daytona International Speedway. JR Lock and Load making a move out to the front. We know he's fast. He know he likes to be out front. That was his game plan. He's going to hold that inside line. He said in his bio, and he said a little bit before the race, he just wants to be out front. He just wants to hold that solid yellow line. He knows nobody can go underneath him on that solid yellow line there as he's going around. So JR Lock and Load now back to third. Looks like Johnny now out in front of him. Johnny made the move down in front of him. Smithy now to the outside here, ladies and gentlemen. A great move by Johnny. Side-by-side action as they come down the backstretch, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 28 out of 76 in this Dash for Cash event here for our Rubbings Racing special event here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody that's involved as we watch these guys motor around Daytona International Speedway. Rubbing Racing prides itself on clean racing, respectful racing. It's a great community to get involved in, and you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, things do happen at Daytona International Speedway. Even the big boys, even the guys all the way at the top, The only problem is they can't take their cars home. We can reset them and we can do it all over again. So these guys know that they have a long way to go yet. They know what's at stake. They know there's prizes at stake, and they know it's bragging rights more than anything. Absolute bragging rights more than anything to say, I competed in the top level, and I am the fastest super speedway driver in Rubbings Racing as it stands. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen. Smithy now out in front. Smithy on the outside out in front, trying to challenge Johnny on the inside as they come down this long backstretch. Starting the turn 3, up through the high banking. Smithy followed by Granddad Steve, JR, then behind Johnny. Got a high line and the low line here. We got a whole train. We got 5 cars on the outside. Looks like we got Johnny, Smithy, Granddad Steve, and it looks like, I can't tell who that is. They got old Smokey there. Looks like we got Lightblade now on the outside. Lightblade's been running really good on that outside line there. It looks like he's stuck back in traffic after that pit stop. It's so difficult to work up through traffic here. Try to mingle your way up through here when all these cars are just so equal here, ladies and gentlemen. Side-by-side action as we come through turn 2 down the backstretch here. You see Old Smokey now making a move towards the middle. Is Old Smokey going to make anything happen? Let's take a ride along with Old Smokey here. No, it looks like he's going to stay in line and maybe try to make a move to the outside here, ladies and gentlemen. Old Smokey here to the outside, going 3 wide here, ladies and gentlemen, up through the corner, into the wall. Old Smokey into the wall, rubbing the wall. These guys are going to have to get around him here. Old Smokey can't make it stick up top. Looks like he's going to have to fall in below here, ladies and gentlemen. And I got to plug my controller in because my PlayStation is yelling at me, telling me my controller is low. Controller is plugged in, and we are back to the action, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny out front, lap 31 out of 76 remaining laps here. 76 laps, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny now out front. Let's get back up to the front. Sorry, I'm all the way in the back of the pack here. Johnny now out front. JR lock and load in behind him. You see this whole pack, and they go 3 wide. Somebody gets into the wall, and oh, ladies and gentlemen, somebody comes off the wall. And do we have a caution? Does that constitute a caution? Yes, we have cars all over the place in the back here, ladies and gentlemen. Cars flipping. Oh, we got a car on its roof. Looks like Uniclark upside down. VMX getting flipped around. Old Smokey getting going. Tro involved in that. VMX rider now turned the wrong way on the track. Got to get this thing turned around and get caught back up with the field. That is our 8th caution of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The 8th caution of the evening. 2 cautions left. 2 cautions left that these guys are able to use if they end up going off track or if they end up wrecking again. Then it's going to just be a shootout all the way to the end. We want to see more racing and less cautions. We have the cautions so we can keep the guys all wound up and keep this action packed close here for you. So go back to the front and see where Johnny is here. Johnny's coming into, looks like these guys are going to remain under caution here as we wait for the field to catch up. Sorry guys, I was in the back of the pack here. We got, looks like we have Dan and Tro and VMX now and Granddad Steve into the pits. No, Tro and Dan and Granddad Steve now into the pits. Looks like these guys are doing tire changes. Looks like Granddad Steve's going to take tires here. It may be costly for him, may work out for him, we're not sure. We know that temperature is going to drop here. Right now it's 123 degrees track temperature Fahrenheit, 93 degrees outside here, so keep an eye. We see Granddad Steve now out of the pit. We see Dan now coming out of the pit, and Tro as well. We can't actually see him. Smithy now and John lead this field as they come out of turn 2 here, down the backstretch. Caution 8 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. We have 2 cautions left that these guys can run all the way up until lap 66. We have 1 mandatory caution to bring the field together at lap 38. Lap 38 will be the mandatory caution just to get everybody back together. We'll do 1 parade lap, and then from there on it is racing to the line. We have 2 cautions after that if they don't use it before that. Thank you everybody for tuning into YouTube. Thank you for all of your comments as these guys come down the backstretch into turn 3. Champ says these guys really need to calm it down. They have too many cautions. They're going to use them all up. They know it. They know the rules. Everybody read the rules and regulations, Champ. These guys, it's just track temperature's hot and the cars are moving around here. Smithy now out front as they come out of turn 3 into turn 4. They're going to go green this time by, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to go green this time by. I think everybody has pitted. This is going to be a dash to the end, a dash for the cash, ladies and gentlemen. 2 cautions left. So they come out of turn 4 down towards the tri-oval. These guys in the back need to get caught up a little bit as we're getting ready to go green. You guys cannot pass before the start-finish line. We are ready to go green in 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Smithy outside. Johnny to the inside. JR lock and load in behind him. Lightblade worked his way up to 4th. And top 3 guys pitted there. So now Lightblade up to fourth. Lightblade trying to make a move into the middle. What's Lightblade going to do here? He sees JR Lock and Load going out around Smithy there to the inside. JR Lock and Load, great restart by JR. Smithy now hanging on to JR. We see Lightblade now in fourth place and Tuggy Bear in behind Lightblade here. Old Smoky coming in sixth. We got Richie in behind him at seventh. Uniclark gathering it back together in eighth. Dan But Mortuous out in ninth. VMX Rider coming in 10th. Tro in 11th. And Granddad Steve rounding out the top 12, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your 12 drivers. These guys are now on lap 33 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. 5 laps until the mandatory caution. Let's see what these guys can do here. We got somebody on the wall. Looks like Tro might have lost the lead draft, but no, he got Granddad Steve right behind him as we go back through the field here. Old Smoky now, looks like he's going to try to make a move towards the middle here. We go on board here with Old Smoky. You can see the kind of speed these guys are carrying through the tri-oval, 180 miles an hour. He's going to try to think about going 3 wide. No, he wisely backs off of it here. You can see he's up behind Lightblade. Lightblade now on that outside. No, I'm sorry, that's JR Lock and Load on that outside. You can see Lightblade to the left of Old Smoky here. And you see how close these guys are. They utilize the side draft, and now it looks like Old Smoky's going to make a move to the outside. Let's go trackside here, ladies and gentlemen, as they go 3 wide down the backstretch. Here we go, Old Smoky to the outside, Johnny to the inside, JR in the middle. Can they make it stick? They only have 2 cautions left. They need to be careful here, ladies and gentlemen. Old Smoky just can't make it work on that high side. Maybe just a little too hard with the controller. Some guys are really good with it. I'm not saying that's the issue. I'm just saying it's really hard to run that high line. Meanwhile, Johnny takes over the lead. JR now challenging Johnny at the line. JR has the advantage, not by much though, only by a hair. So these guys are side by side, 6 deep through the tri-oval, lap 35 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Up through turn 1, the sun is starting to go down here. Track temperature is now down to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, so the track temperature is dropping. The outside temperature is 93 degrees Fahrenheit outside, so the sun is starting to go down. We got somebody moving around in the middle there. It looks like Tuggy Bear moving around in the middle a little bit, try to maybe go 3 wide, maybe just got a little loose, bounced off that wall. Sometimes if you get the air off that wall, it'll push it back down the track. Coming into turn 3, side by side, once again, ladies and gentlemen, lap 35 out of 76 as these guys come out of turn 4. Johnny out front, Lightblade on the outside in second place, Tuggy Bear in third place on the inside, JR Lock and Load on the outside in fourth place, Richie on the inside in that red and white car, and you got our Uniclark now in fifth place, Richie on the outside, Smithy in that yellow car. Smithy's been moving around an awful lot. Great job by Smithy today. He was a little loose in practice, maybe made some adjustments there. It looks like he's still fighting a little bit of a loose condition. The track temperatures have changed. You can see as they come out of turn 2 out of turn 2 down this backstretch, you see it's shaded halfway through turn 1, so that's got to play an impact on the tire and on the handling here at Daytona International Speedway. Half the track is under a shadow, and the other track is blue. They go 3 wide through turn 1. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, 3 wide. JR Lock and Load to the outside. Lightblade trying to make a move, and Lightblade gets by JR Lock and Load and gets that position. Now challenging Johnny to the outside. Can he make it happen? Looks like he's got a run on him here. Let's take a ride on board here with Lightblade and see if we can get any kind of... Yeah, Lightblade now assumes the lead, but looks like we're going to stay trackside here. 3 wide once again as they come through the tri-oval at the start-finish line. 3 wide, 3 by 3. Side by side as they come through the tri-oval, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic racing by these guys. Somebody backs off in the middle there, but they're still 3 wide at the front. Looks like Lightblade is not giving it up. JR Lock and Load, he puts a move on him, just slides right up in front of him, but JR Lock and Load looks like he's going to come back. He's got help to the outside. Looks like Smithy's up there on that outside trying to give JR Lock and Load a little bit of help. These guys are still 3 wide. They still need to get it situated as they're coming through turn 3, through the banking here. Smithy on the outside, JR Lock and Load now falling in behind Lightblade. You have Johnny on the inside now, followed by Tuggy Bear. This is great action. This is all up front, ladies and gentlemen. All these guys are within 1 second of each other. The top 11 guys are within 1 second. Dan But Mortuous, you can see all the way in the back there in the blue and white car, just minding their business. Looks like Old Smoky must have lost the draft there, ladies and gentlemen. And we cross the line here. And it will be, next time by will be mandatory caution, guys. Next time by will be mandatory caution. So these guys 3 by 3 by 3s. They come through the turns here, come through the corners. And we're going to try to freeze the field as we come through here. 3 by 3 once more time. Johnny to the outside, Lightblade to the inside. And you got JR Lock and Loading, or JR's to the outside. These guys, nobody's going anywhere. Everybody's trying to get the advantage. Lightblade still in that center position here. And these guys are going to come in through turn 3 here. Oh, we got a crash here, big crash. Well, we're going to use this as a mandatory caution. We're not going to use this as the caution for the race, ladies and gentlemen, because it was a scheduled mandatory caution. Guys, slow it down to 70 miles per hour as you cross the line here. 70 miles per hour, crossing the line. Mandatory caution, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take this time and this mandatory slowdown to thank Tuggy Bear once again for sponsoring this event. This is Rubbings Racing Dash for Cash Christmas event that we have been planning for about 2 months. Put all this together. We're trying to bring you the best racing experience online here. 100 laps around Daytona. We got disconnected at lap 24, which means there's 76 laps left. We are lap 39 out of 76 on our mandatory caution. Johnny leading the field. Lightblade making a great run for the last couple laps. In the middle there, JR Lock and Load was out in the third there. We're not sure what happened to him, but these guys need to catch up with the back of the pack here. JR Lock and Load. Looks like these guys are about 4 seconds behind them here. Johnny now out front. Lightblade, Tuggy Bear, Richie, Uniclark, VMX Rider, JR Lock and Load, Dan But Mortuous, Old Smoky, Tro, Granddad Stee, and Smithy. All these guys. Smithy is in the infield. We're not sure what's going on with Smithy there. Not sure if he disconnected or not. We're not sure, but the field is going to go green this time by. I'm not sure what happened to Smithy. He was having a great race. He was doing the best he could with what he had. It looks like he may have disconnected it, ladies and gentlemen. We are on lap 39. When we get to the line, it will be 40 out of 76. It'll be 36 laps to go this time by, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody is taking their pit stop. At lap 66, we will be officially out of cautions. We have 2 cautions left in the bank to get them to lap 66. As we come around come out of turn 4 here, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are going to bunch up one more time, and we're going to call it here, ladies and gentlemen, as we get going here. As they come down to the line, to the restart zone. Once again, lap 39 out of 76, and we are getting ready to go green in 3, 2, 1. Green, 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 green flag is in the air, and these guys are winding up through the gears. Lightblade gets a great move to the outside there. Johnny to the inside. You got Richie on the outside following Lightblade, and Tuggy Bear to the inside following Johnny here. And it looks like Lightblade gets a great run to the outside. Looks like Richie goes with him. Johnny was following that inside line there, but looks like now he's got traffic out in front of him. Tuggy Bear and behind him. Uniclark in behind Tuggy Bear. JR Lock and Load back to 7th place, back to the inside. Competition caution kind of ruined the racing there, and I apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen, but we got everybody caught back up. Not sure what's going on with Smithy. Smithy is still losing time. We're assuming that he disconnected. Richie now out front to the inside. Lightblade to the outside. These 2 red and white Ford Mustangs. You got Tuggy Bear in behind. Let's see where Tuggy Bear's at here. Tuggy Bear is now on the outside. Looks like he's on the outside following Johnny. It's so hard to keep track of this. Anyway, all we know is Lightblade's out front. Lap 41 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. 41 in this Dash for Cash event here at Rubbings Racing, sponsored by Tuggy Bear. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. These guys are the best of the best right now. These guys have all qualified. They've all raced their way into this event. This wasn't something we just put together. Everybody raced their way into it. We had 3 qualifying heats. The top 5 guys out of each lobby qualified, and this is the final result here. We have 1 guy going around in the back. We have 2 guys around. We have another caution, ladies and gentlemen. Another caution, ladies and gentlemen. This will be lap 9, or caution 9. We have 1 caution left in the bank, ladies and gentlemen, or up until lap 66. And I'm just going to get off the mic for 1 second and get a drink here. Actually, I'm not. We're coming out of turn 4. Is everybody caught up here? Looks like Tro. No, looks like we're going to have to go 1 more caution lap here, ladies and gentlemen. Tro's now just coming out of turn 3. Lightblade out front. Yep, these guys, a couple guys are going to pit. We're going to do still under caution here, ladies and gentlemen. Get everybody caught up. Everybody's going to make their arrangements here. Wanted, like I said, take this time to thank Tuggy Bear, and I'm going to go off mic for about 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Just going to let you enjoy these guys riding around here. I will be back in 30 seconds. 30-second break. Hello? 70 miles per hour, Smithy. These guys are getting 70 miles per hour. We have 1 caution left. Smithy is now back on the field with us, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like he had to take care of some personal business here. So coming down the backstretch here, Lightblade now leading these guys. Tuggy Bear up to second place on the outside. JR Lock and Load on the outside behind Tuggy Bear. Got Richie in behind him. Got Old Smoky in 6th. You got Granddad Steve in 7th. Tro in 8th. VMX Rider in 9th. Johnny in 10th. Uniclark in 11th. And Smithy. Smithy, you get that 1 lap. You got to fall in behind these guys. You can't go around them again. If another caution comes out, no. If another caution comes out, then you get your lap back. I need to know how many laps you are down.
I'm 2. I'm on lap 41 when I get onto the next lap.
Okay, well, these guys are coming down. These guys are coming down. You guys falling behind the pack, and we're getting ready to go green here, guys. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Green, 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 green. As we see Smithy coming in behind the pack there, getting a lap back there. That's some technical difficulties. Let him come back around. Keeping the race. He's still a lap down here. We got Lightblade now out front. Tuggy Bear now in second. Richie in third. JR in fourth. Dan in fifth. Old Smokey in sixth. Tro in seventh. Johnny in eighth. Granddad Steen out to ninth. VMX in 10th. Uniclark in 7th. And Smithy rounding out the top 10. Smithy is still a lap down. Had some difficulties there. Let's go back through the pack here. And right on board with Tro. We haven't heard much from Tro today. Tro's been one of them quiet guys in practice. He doesn't say a whole lot. He just shows up there towards the end. We'll go on board here with Tro. You see Tro now. You see these guys up in front of him. 3 wide. Somebody on the brakes there. Not sure who that was in the middle. Maybe Old Smokey trying to make it 3 wide. Looks like it is here. Riding along with Tro. Tro riding that outside line. You can see the sun starting to set in the background, ladies and gentlemen. So the track temperature, this whole side of the track now is under shade. So this is a lot cooler than the other side of the track as they come through the tri-oval here. Lap 44 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Tro into the wall as they see the field go by him. Let's go back up to the lead here. Lightblade out in front, all by himself. Not all by himself, I'm sorry. Richie right behind him. You got Tuggy Bear to the outside, and JR Lock and Load in behind that low line there. You got Old Smokey on the top side there, making that high, trying to make that high side work. He's been into the wall quite a few times today. It's a little tricky. He said he plays on a controller, loves to race, but a little tricky navigating through Daytona International Speedway. But he's going to try to make it look easy here as they go 3 wide. Thinks better of it. Falls back in line behind Tuggy Bear. And Lightblade on the bottom side. Richie in tow as they come around out of turn 4 into the tri-oval here, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 45 out of 76. 45 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen, coming through the tri-oval side by side. Once again, 2 by 2 all the way deep. We got Smithy all the way in the back here. Smithy still a lap down. Let's see who lost the lead here. Smithy all the way in the back. Hoping for a caution here. 2 laps down. Smithy is 2 laps down. Back to the front here as we keep an eye on Lightblade. Lightblade doing an absolutely fantastic job out front. Was pretty happy. Pretty happy with his setup here. Luke Bennett joined in, says only just tuned in. It looks like fun. These guys are having a lot of fun out here, man. Luke Bennett, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, Luke Bennett. We miss you here at Rubbings Racing, but we understand you're on to bigger and better things. Looking forward to racing with you on Thursday nights. Luke Bennett was a regular in the league, moved on to the PCs, a pro esports driver. Great kid, great guy, one of the best guys we had in the league here. Can't say one of the best, but definitely first class in Rubbings Racing. And that's what we're all about here at Rubbings Racing, ladies and gentlemen. First class people, first class drivers. And then what you're getting tonight is a first class race as the sun is setting here in Daytona Beach. At Daytona International Speedway, you can see the background, the sky's starting to light up. Lightblade leading this parade around here. Richie right behind him. You got Old Smokey to the outside with, looks like you got Tuggy Bear in behind him. Johnny now back to 5th. Johnny was out front here. Been a lot of moving around. These guys side by side still coming through turn 3 here. Out of turn 4. Looks like Old Smokey now making a run to the outside. Let's see if he can try to make it work here. He's got Tuggy Bear right behind him. You got Lightblade. You got Richie, and you got JR Lock and Load, it looks like, down on the low side there. JR Lock and Load was leading out front. Had that competition caution. Not sure what happened. Some guys went in the pits. We're not really sure what happened here, but all these guys are, except for Smithy, everybody is on the lead lap. Smithy had to run and do a few things. We said it's a long race. It's about an hour and 45 minutes here, ladies and gentlemen. So the sun is setting. You can see what a beautiful sight. I just want to get rid of this interface here. To watch these guys come down the backstretch here at Daytona International Speedway. The stadium lights are now starting to come on. These guys are probably going to need them here at the end of the evening as we navigate around Daytona International Speedway through turn 3, coming into turn 4, out of turn 4. These guys are making their moves. They're kind of trying to just ride in line here, kind of see what kind of moves they can make here. Back to the interface, back to the action, back out front. Lightblade still leading this parade around. Richie in behind him. Richie now making a move to the outside. He has help from Old Smokey, and it looks like Tuggy Bear is going to ride with this outside line. We got a group of 3 guys on the outside line trying to make it happen, and Richie does make it. to the inside here. Old Smokey in behind him, and Tuggy Bear on that outside line. Looks like we have Johnny. We have Richie, or I'm sorry, Lightblade Richie and VMX on the inside. What happened to JR? It looked like JR dropped back through the field here. Sees these guys moving around up in the front. JR might just be biding his time here. Let's go back. Let's ride on board with JR Lock and Load here. JR Lock and Load, one of the founders of the league. Got a bunch of guys together. We see here, oh, and everybody's going to get off the throttle, and we have a caution just as we go to JR Lock and Load. Just wrapped up in that, ladies and gentlemen. You can see how hard he hit the wall there. Oh, we got Tuggy Bear involved. We got JR Lock and Load. We got Tro involved. We got Smithy now. Smithy's going around to get a lap back, ladies and gentlemen. Get a lap back. He has an opportunity to get back on the lead lap. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, coming down the backstretch here. We weren't sure what happened to you, Smithy. You were sitting in the infield. I can't let you get 2 laps back.
That's alright.
Yeah. It's the rules are the rules, buddy. You can get 1 lap back. You can't ride around twice. You can't do that. You were the first car a lap down under 2 cautions. Therefore, you got 2 laps back. Unfortunately, you are still a lap down. So that's the way it rules as they come into turn 3 here, ladies and gentlemen. Lightblade now leading this pack. Johnny outside. VMX and behind them. Richie on the outside. You got Dan on the outside behind Richie. Uniclark to the inside. Old Smokey and Granddad Steve. You got JR and Tuggy Bear. You got Tro coming in the back, and you got Smithy coming up the backside here. And we're getting ready to go green here, ladies and gentlemen, as these guys come out of turn 4. That is the last caution of the race. So if these guys wreck, they're going to have to get in line. They're going to have to try to make something work. 3 cars, 4 cars, 5 cars are always faster than 1 car. And we're getting ready to go green once again, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 49 out of 76. And 3, 2, 1. Green, ladies and gentlemen. That is the final caution of the night. It is a final sprint dash for the cash. It is going to be a 26-lap dash for the cash here, ladies and gentlemen. These guys need to pick their lines wisely. They need to just settle down, get in line, get in one big long line, just ride around. Everybody wants a chance to win the cash and prizes here tonight. Only one person can take home the grand prize. Top 3 people get prizes here. Got 20 pound. We have 10-pound PSN vouchers for first and second place, and a $6.99 voucher for a DLC pack from Project Cars 2 for third place. Top 3 guys get cash and prizes. The rest guys go home. Right now we're looking at Richie on the outside. I don't know if Richie's on the outside or the inside. These guys got matching liveries. Looks like Richie is on the outside all by himself. We got Lightblade and we got Johnny on the inside here. We got a bunch of guys coming in. They need to settle it down. Somebody getting loose in the back there. Looked like Tro might have got a little bit squirrely. Not sure who that was. Needs to try to remain with the pack if he wants to stay in this. There are no more cautions left as we go back through the pack here. Let's take a ride on board here with Uniclark. You see Uniclark now riding in that 5th position on that inside line, following, looks like Richie. Oh, no, Richie's on the outside. BMX right in front of him. Take a ride on the bumper here, and you see how close these guys are really getting. You can see that Ford logo on the back right-hand corner. These Ford Mustangs making all this horsepower coming down the backstretch here, riding along with Uniclark. Currently in 6th place. You can hear a car to the outside of him. You can see the cars on his high side. That high side's pretty fast, but the low side's the quickest way around here. Let's ride on board with Johnny here. Johnny to the outside. You can see the Lightblade to the inside there. You can see the suspension and the wheels moving in that 122 red-white Ford Mustang GT, and it looks like Johnny now to the front. Let's keep on going back through the back. We got Dan now. Looks like Dan. Somebody going 3 wide. Who was that going? Granddad Steve going 3 wide in the middle there. You got Old riding along with Dan, yeah. Dan currently riding in 8th place on that high side. You can see the sun's finally set in the background. The stadium lights are on here, ladies and gentlemen. Track temperatures are down to 108 degrees. Looks like Dan's going to try to make a move to the outside there. Let's go roof cam here and see what kind of action we can see here. You can see the cars starting to move around a little bit. And somebody is making a big run to the outside. Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like Old Smokey now to the inside. Uniclark now up to 4th place. And let's go back to trackside here and take a look at these guys. They come out of turn 4. Lap 52 out of 7. Actually coming to lap 53 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. This Dash for the Cash event, these guys have been behind the wheel for about an hour and 20 minutes here. It's been a long race. We had 1 disconnect. We had to restart the lobby. It was supposed to be 101 laps. We got 24 laps completed. had to restart the lobby. Now we have 76 laps completed. No more cautions are allowed. Our mandatory caution was over. Everybody has taken their pit stop, so these guys just know what's at stake here. One little mistake can send them flying and send their hopes and dreams for winning the Dash for the Cash Daytona Super Speedway event sponsored by Tuggy Bear out the window. Ladies and gentlemen, they're coming down the backstretch. All the headlights are on right now. All these guys are winding up. See the sun starting to set in the background here, ladies and gentlemen, as you see the beautiful, beautiful sunset here in Daytona Beach, Florida, Daytona International Speedway. Light Blade out front. Currently, Johnny on the outside, Light Blade on the inside. These four guys up front have been just pounding on each other. They've been trading a little bit of paint, trading a little bit of conversation on track here, but these guys are all calm and cool and collective. They know what's at stake. Lap 54 out of 76. Laps are winding down, ladies and gentlemen. The temperature is coming down as well. 91 degrees Fahrenheit outside is the ambient temperature. 107 degrees is the track temperature. When we started this race, it was 135 degrees was the track temperature. So the temperature is coming down significantly. The grip is going to start coming back. The ideal temperatures for these soft tires is right around 78, 79. And there they go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like Richie gets turned sideways. Looks like Granddad Steve gets turned sideways. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have all kind of people. Who gets through? VMX gets through. Uniclark gets through. Old Man gets through. Dan gets through. Looks like Tro gets wrapped up. JR, looks like JR is going to try to get going again here. Tro's involved. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, with a big accident here. These guys are going to have to get in line. There's still a lot of time left here to maybe try to catch the leaders here. And these guys coming through in the back, you got to be careful of the fast guys coming through. You got a whole line of cars coming here. You got, it looks like Tro leading that. Light Blade in behind him. Light Blade wrapped up in that. 21 seconds now behind. Light Blade, these guys know they're fast. Let's see what we got up front. We got a train of 3 cars out front. VMX Rider now out front. Uniclark got through that, and Old Smoky now. These 3 guys are the only 3 guys out front. And behind them, Dan But Mortuous looks like he may have that draft. Let's ride on board here with Dan and see if we can see if what kind of... it looks like Dan must have lost a draft here. So let's go back trackside and let's see what these guys can do, ladies. Lap 56 out of 76. 20 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. These guys, they can catch them. Tuggy Bear now is 9 seconds back. We got Granddad Steve and Light Blade. See if these guys can get together and work together. They got a guy up, but looks like they have somebody up in front of them. I'm not sure who that is. With Granddad Steve. So if these 3 dudes can hook up, these 3 guys can hook up. Light Blade's about 21 seconds back. Tro's 21 seconds. Looks like Richie's 21 seconds back. Johnny, the big loser here, 29 seconds, lost the draft, ladies and gentlemen. Back to the front. Old Smoky now taking over the lead on that controller outside all by himself. VMX and Uniclark on the inside. You see some guys trying to run in the background, and you see that other pack coming just out of turn 3. You see VMX and these guys coming into turn 4 here. So they're about a whole straightaway behind him right now. Going to keep an eye on this time here. Tro and Granddad and Light Blade are 20 seconds behind the leader. They have a couple guys in between them. Looks like Tuggy Bear's running all by himself. Looks like Dan's running all by himself. So if Tro and Light Blade and Granddad can get hooked up with Tuggy, it'll be 4 cars, and then hook up with Dan, it'll be five cars. So VMX now back out to the front. VMX taking position. We got Old Smoky now on the outside, and we got Uniclark now to the inside. These guys in the back, they need to get together. They need to try to make this draft work, ladies and gentlemen. 19 laps remained here. Lap 57 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Laps winding down. We just had a big caution. There was just a big wreck. No more cautions, unfortunately. The rules state only 10 competition cautions or 10 incident cautions within the race. We have used all of them up and our mandatory caution here. So these 3 guys now out front. Take a look at these guys back here. Tro, Granddad, Light Blade now. Looks like they're within about 8 seconds of Tuggy Bear, but these guys have made up a little bit of time, made up about a second on these guys. These guys out front are racing side by side, and that's only going to allow these faster guys behind them to catch them, ladies and gentlemen. But can they do it? This may be a dash for the cash. This is going to be an exciting finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Still, Granddad Steve now up to 18.7 seconds. Light Blade, 18.4 seconds behind these guys. So these guys are really making up some time. 58 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a nail-biter here in the end. If these guys can keep their cars pointed in the right direction, if these guys can do it all in the right, they can catch this lead pack. They're on 18.2 seconds now behind these guys. Keeping an eye on the leaders. VMX, Old Smoky, and Uniclark. 3 guys who escaped the madness and the mayhem there on the backstretch as they came down through that big accident there. All them guys got together. These three guys escaped. We're keeping an eye on this battle back here. You see Lightblade now up to 17.2, made up a whole nother second. These guys know how to restrictor plate race. They got to get in line. You see Granddad Steve behind these guys. You see Tro in behind these guys. Hopefully Tro can ride in line. These guys need to get in a 4-pack line here. Down to 16.8 seconds now, Granddad Steve. Tuggy Bear now 10 seconds behind, only 6 seconds in front of Granddad Steve to see if these guys can do anything with it. Meanwhile, out in front, the leaders are still nose to tail. The two guys on the inside, looks like we have VMX and Uniclark nose to tail on the inside as they come through turn 3. Got Old Smoky on the outside, prefers that outside line. We've seen Old Smoky hanging out up top all day long. Likes that outside line. They're going to try to make it work. All by himself, though. Just logging laps, trying to get a run here and see where his car works. Meanwhile, 15 seconds. Granddad Steve, Lightblade, Tro, and looks like they may be catching up to Tuggy Bear here directly. And we're getting reports from the track that VMX has a 10-second penalty. Not sure what that's from. May have been too fast entering pit road. So VMX needs to get out in front of these guys by 10 seconds. Needs to hope something major happens here. Meanwhile, taking them back through the field here. Old Smoky, we got Tuggy Bear now 9 seconds behind these guys, and Dan, Granddad, Lightblade, Richie, or Granddad, Lightblade and Richie now are side by side. Granddad Steve and Lightblade side by side. 16 seconds now. They need to get in line. Dan Butt Mortuous now up to 5th place, 10 seconds behind the lead. Now on the tail end of Tuggy Bear. If these guys, two guys, can get together, they may be able to make something happen. Don't know if the guys behind them are going to be able to catch up now. They're about 5 seconds now behind Tuggy Bear. They might have got a little contact. Maybe somebody got into the wall. We're not sure, ladies and gentlemen. 9 people remain in this dash for the cash here. We've had some disconnects. Don't know if anybody got angry and quit. We're not sure, ladies and gentlemen. We hope that isn't the case. We've had some disconnection issues, so we're hoping that these 9 guys can make it through the rest of the race here. This dash for cash at Daytona Superspeedway, sponsored by Tuggy Bear. Old Smoky now out front, still running that high line all by himself. VMX currently up to 2nd, Uniclark to 3rd, Tuggy Bear to 4th, Dan to 5th. And right now, Lightblade and Granddad Steve, they were making up all kind of time. They're kind of settled in about 14 seconds now in behind these guys. They need to try to keep it together. These two guys up front are about running matching times here. Let's see, lap 62 now, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 62. 62 out of 76. Laps are winding down here at Daytona. The lights are now on. The sun has gone down. Track temperature is dropping now to 104 degrees Fahrenheit, so the track temperature is definitely coming down. VMX out front. Uniclark in 2nd. Old Smoky now in 3rd. These guys right now are in command of the race. 8 seconds behind them, you got Tuggy Bear and Dan. These guys are going to try to make up some kind of ground here. And Lightblade and Granddad Steve looks like they made up about a second. See if they can try to stay in line here and utilize that draft and see if they can use it and make it happen here, ladies and gentlemen. 14 laps left remaining here. We'll see what happens here in this Dash for the Cash event. Down to 8 drivers, ladies and gentlemen. People know that they didn't have a shot. Some people just give up. Some people don't. I don't know if we disconnected. We're not sure what happened. But Daytona International Speedway, anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. Anything can happen. You've seen in our second heat, Olimar was towards the back of the field. He had a disconnect tonight, which is unfortunate. He was in the back of the field, ended up winning the race with the last lap. These guys just kind of bugged out on each other. But anyway, now we got Lightblade and Granddad Steve now 13 seconds, lap 63 out of 76. If these guys keep on doing what they're doing, they should catch the back of this field. Only 5 seconds now behind Tuggy Bear and Dan. And you can see now Tuggy Bear, let's go take a ride along with Tuggy Bear. These two are in line. Tuggy Bear now in 4th. Dan back to 5th. These guys in line trying to catch the leaders. Lightblade and Granddad Steve in line trying to catch the leaders as well. Right now, VMX, Uniclark, and Old Smoky out in front. If they still side by side, you still got these guys 2 by 2 coming through here. Looks like Old Smoky's just pretty comfortable up on that high line there, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a confirmation from BMX. He does have a 10-second penalty, ladies and gentlemen. So this may play out for everybody involved. 12 seconds. Lightblade and Granddad Steve are now behind these guys. 10-second penalty could play out at the end of this race here. Right now, Tuggy Bear and Dan are up to 7th place, or 7 seconds now, in behind the leader. Lap 64 out of 76. 12 laps remain, ladies and gentlemen. 12 laps remain here for the Daytona Dash for Cash event, sponsored by Tuggy Bear. We see these guys coming down to the final laps here. Lap 64, lap 65 now. 65 out of 76. 11 laps to go. VMX out front. Old Smoky still on that high side. Doesn't look like they're making up much time in the back. If they can back up a little bit and catch them back two guys, maybe it'll make something happen. But right now, 7 seconds, Dan and Tuggy are behind them. And then 11 seconds, Lightblade and Granddad Steer behind them. Wrapped up in that accident. Unfortunate. Lightblade has been out front all day long, just riding cool and collective. Things happen here at Daytona International Speedway. Sometimes we can't understand them. Sometimes it just happens so fast that you don't have time to react. So we see these guys coming down the backstretch here, trying to put some time on the leaders. Now up to 11 seconds. 10 laps left, ladies and gentlemen. Or 11 laps left, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are starting to climb up now. They're only within about 4 seconds now of Tuggy Bear and Dan. We go on board with Dan here. He goes, let's ride on board here. And you can see them two guys up front. If these guys stick together, they may be able to catch them two guys in front of them, but they may be out of time, ladies and gentlemen. You can see all three of the pack. The first pack going up through turn 2 right there. The first pack, second pack going into turn 1. And this third 2-car pack just now coming into turn 1. So these guys are only a corner away from each other. They just need to try to get it to work out. 6 seconds now is the spread between first and fourth place. Old Smoky now outside. Look at back trackside here. We see Old Smoky still on that high side line here. VMX to the inside. Uniclark now on that inside. Uniclark's been quiet. He's been up front all day long. Got shuffled to the back of the pack there earlier in the race, but we managed to get through that mayhem, that last big wreck that we had there, ladies and gentlemen. So now 5 seconds is now the gap back to 4th place. 67 out of 76 laps, ladies and gentlemen. 9 laps to go here in this Dash for the Cash, and this is where it becomes a true Dash for the Cash, ladies and gentlemen. This is the absolute moment we've been waiting for in this event, the Dash for the Cash. 10 laps to go. Another 9 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. As we get going down here, we see VMX, Uniclark, and Old Smoky now 5 seconds back to third, 4th place, and 5th place, and then 8 seconds back to 6th and 7th place. Unfortunate event there. When, like I said, after the final caution was displayed, these guys got turned up, but it says, John Boy says they're gaining a second a lap, 100%. John Boy's rooting for you guys. He said, go catch them. You guys are down to 5 seconds. 68 laps out of 76 laps, ladies and gentlemen. These guys are still side by side up at the front. Doesn't look like Old Smoky can do anything with these two guys on the bottom. We know 2 cars are always a little faster, but that high line is fast, and if you can get that run out of turn, maybe he's just trying to set his run up. 5.4 seconds back to Dan and Tuggy. Let's see if they can make up any time here. We go back to Dan and Tuggy, and it's got to be painfully excruciating watching them front guys they're not getting away, but they're not gaining on them at all. As you see him coming down the backstretch here. Take it right aboard here with Dan. And you can see the top 3 guys right there. 5.9 seconds, 5.4 seconds in front of them here. And still another 3 seconds back to Lightblade. Lightblade's still right behind these guys. Lap 68 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in and watching these final laps here. If you're just tuning in, it's been a very eventful race. We had a couple cautions here. We used up all 10 of our cautions. About 10 laps ago, the final caution was displayed, and now we have 3 packs of cars here. We got the lead pack, we got VMX, Uniclark, and Old Smoky out front. We'll go back trackside here, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that view. VMX, Uniclark, and Old Smoky out front. These guys have been just kind of running pace here. We got Tuggy Bear and Dan got shuffled back to second here. You can see him back in the picture, and it looks to me like Lightblade and Granddad Steve might have caught these guys, but it might be just a little bit too late. Lap 69 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. 7 laps left as these laps are winding down here at Daytona International Speedway in the Rubbings Racing Dash for Cash event here at Daytona International Super Speedway. As they come across the line, ladies and gentlemen, lap 70 or out of 76. 6 laps to go here. And these guys are now all formed up. They're still side by side in the back here. They know the top 3 guys only advance. They need to get in line. They need to try to catch these guys up front. And John Boy says, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a 3-horse race. Looks that way, John, unless these guys can get together in the back here. They're still 5 seconds down. It looks like these guys, everybody's just trying to get what they can out of it, trying to get their cars situated. We're going to keep an eye on this battle back there. These guys in the front seem to have it on cruise control, but I want to see if these guys can make up any kind of time on the leaders. Going side by side too deep like this, they're not going to make up anything, because that's what the leaders are doing up in front as well. But these guys are just going for finishing rights right now. Lap 70 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. VMX leading the field. Old Smoky on the outside. Uniclark in that third position. Looks like these guys may be the top 3 guys here tonight. These guys may be the top guys. 5 seconds back to 5th place right now, or 4th place. Tuggy Bear currently in 4th place. Lightblade in 5th. Granddad Steve in 6th. Dan in 7th. Richie way out of the draft. 39 seconds behind these guys. I want to thank these guys for participating. Lap 71 out of 76 as we watch these guys come out of turn 2, down the backstretch here, and oh, we got Old Smoky into the wall. Can he manage to save it? Yes, he does. Them guys give him room. Everybody moves down the track a little bit, and now it looks like we're going 3 wide. Can't tell from this angle here. No, it looked like 3 wide, but it wasn't 3 wide. Meanwhile, these guys behind them are still 5.6 seconds back. Tuggy Bear, Lightblade, Granddad, Steve, and Dan are still 4 seconds back, 5 seconds back off of these guys. Don't think they're going to be able to catch them, ladies and gentlemen, as they come across the line here. Lap 72 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen, at the Daytona International Speedway. Rubbings Racing Dash for the Cash event, sponsored by our very own Tuggy Bear. Right now we have VMX, Old Smoky, and Uniclark, the 3-horse out front. And it doesn't look like these guys in the back are going to be able to do anything with them, as I'm trying to find them here. As they come here, they come out through turn 1. You see Granddad Steve moving around a little bit. You got Lightblade on the outside in that red and white car, and you got Dan in behind him in that blue and white car. It looks like they're going to try to go 3 wide here. Just give it all they can, I guess. It looks like still getting racy back here. These guys still wanting. It's just no matter what, no matter where you finish, you're still going to win some points here, ladies and gentlemen. So Old Smoky now out front. Old Smoky takes the lead. Lap 72 coming to the line. Lap 73 here. Lap 73, Old Smoky now out front, being chased by VMX and Uniclark. Can Uniclark do anything with these guys here? It's still 5 seconds back to the lead. 73 out of 76. 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, in this Dash for Cash event here at Rubbings Racing, sponsored by Tuggy Bear. Going to keep an eye on these guys here. Looks like it's going to determine, but oh, we got Lightblade now. These guys are now 4.7, 4.6. These guys are now in a 4-car train. You can see the amount of time they just made up in that 1 lap. They need to get back in line if they're going to catch these guys. 4.7, lap 73 out of 76, and let's ride along here with Lightblade. Let's see what kind of time he's making up here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be exciting. I hope these guys can catch up with these guys. It's going to be a great lap here. Lightblade now 4.7 seconds back. Let's ride back here with Dan. See all 4 of these guys lined up. Lap 73, and they are catching the leaders, ladies and gentlemen. 4.5 seconds. These top 3 guys are now in line. You can see them all in line up front. These top 4 guys have all made a pack together, said let's get up to the front. And it looks like somebody goes off to the side. Looks like Tuggy Bear gets off to the side. Tuggy Bear is going to back it out here. Looks like Dan, Granddad Steve, and Lightblade are going to try to put some time on the leader. Down to 4.3 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. 4.2 seconds as these guys are chasing down the leaders. You can see the speeds coming out of turn 2, 177, 178, already up to 180 miles an hour at the beginning of the backstretch. Looks like Dan's going to make the move to the outside. These guys need to stay in line. 4.2 seconds. We got 2 laps left, ladies and gentlemen. Dan to the inside. You got Lightblade to the outside. They got to get back in line to try to have any hopes of catching these guys. We're going to keep an eye on this battle right here. Go back to Granddad Steve to the inside. See Lightblade to the outside. These guys need to get in line. See, they lost all their time. They were climbing like crazy. Now they're down to 4.1 seconds. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, 75 out of 76 here, ladies and gentlemen. 2 laps to go. 5 miles left at Daytona International Speedway, and I think the run that they had is probably gone. I don't think they're going to be able to make up 4 seconds in 2 laps, ladies and gentlemen. They need to get back in line. Tuggy Bear in behind these guys. Let's see if they can make this final run for this Dash for the Cash. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Riding along right now with Tuggy Bear. Tuggy Bear in 7th place, trying to catch the draft of these guys. Tuggy Bear just riding in the back here. Now down to 3.7 seconds, lap 75 out of 76, ladies and gentlemen. If they stay in line, they may be able to make this final run. Foots are to the floor. Hands are sweating on the steering wheel. These guys, their hearts are pounding. They know what's at stake here. 3.4 seconds now off of the lead. I don't know if they're going to have time. We got Old Smoky now. We're going to go trackside here, ladies and gentlemen. Trackside as they come. You see that 4-car line in the back here. Now they're down to 3.3 seconds as they come through turn 4 for the turn 1 through the final time right now. Old Smoky out front, VMX in second, Uniclark in third. That final pack is coming, but I don't think they're going to be able to get there, ladies and gentlemen. A few more laps. If they would have stayed in line and got together, they would have made it. Looks like Uniclark's going to make a move to the outside. No, that's VMX making a move to the outside. Old Smoky to the inside. Looks like Uniclark is just going to ride behind these guys and see what happens. Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen, down to the line. This is it. The dash for the cash is what these guys have been waiting for. Old Smoky on the controller. Looks like he's out front. Can he hold his line? Can he make the move? Can he make a block? Uniclark in behind him. We know VMX has a 10-second penalty. Down to the line, ladies and gentlemen. Uniclark going to make a move. It's going to be too close to call. These guys touch and come together. And it looks like Old Smoky may have come away with it, ladies and gentlemen. Side by side, Uniclark making a valiant effort. Too close to call at the line. Thank you guys for showing up. Too close to call. Wow, what a great run by Uniclark. We're going to have to go to the official timings on this, ladies and gentlemen, to see what it is. But right now, it looks like Old Smoky may have taken the lead. Uniclark made a great effort. It couldn't have been by much. Dan Buttmorchu is coming in third. Lightblade coming in fourth with a bad accident there after the cautions were gone. And ladies and gentlemen, that is our race. Get back to the timings here, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Old Smoky takes the Dash for the Cash challenge, sponsored by Tuggy Bear, by 0.018 seconds. 0.01 of a second, ladies and gentlemen. That's how close it was. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We know this has been a long race. We had some dropouts. We had some technical difficulties, but that is to be expected. Thank you for tuning in. If you want to join Rubbings Racing, www.rubbingsracing.co.uk. Hit the button that says join. It'll take you to our Discord, and we'll get you through the process here. So, once again, thank you for tuning in. My name is Kenbo76. Merry Christmas. God bless. And good night.